Hello fishing friends, this is Matthew with Outfishing 13 bringing you another video on repairing and servicing Zebco reels. Now this particular reel is a Zebco 733 that I'm going to be refurbishing and repairing and doing a basic service on it for my friend Terry, who sent it to me from back in Missouri. Anyways, Terry's had this since it was brand new. And this is probably about 15 years old, and he's caught quite a few fish on this, and one time he caught a big old carp on it that really stressed it out some, and he wanted me to go through it to make sure it was in tip-top shape. Not only that, but I'm going to super tune it too, because I'm going to add some ball bearings to this reel. It is a reel that has probably just one ball bearing and 3 bushings, and we're going to super tune it so it has 4 ball bearings and will run smoother and longer. Anyways, I just want to thank Terry for sending it to me. He'd asked me if I'd do a video on repairing a 733. Anyways, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's get started into this reel. I've only opened it up, just the covers, to take a look at it really quick and test the drag. Everything seems to be there. Nothing seems to be broken. So I think that this is going to be a good reel to do. Let's get started. Okay, so for servicing a reel, you're just going to need some simple tools for these Zebco reels. A screwdriver, maybe a big one and a small one, a little brush. You're going to need some reel lube. I've got some Lucas red grease here that I use for the gears. I got some Triflow gear grease that I use for everything else. And I've got some lightweight reel oil for the bearings. I have a little cup here that holds my little metal parts in if I want to. Big pair of pliers, some needle nose pliers. And so let's get started. I also have some WD-40. I like using WD-40 to cut out the old grease. If you want to use water and soap, you can do that. You just have to let everything dry out. And then I got a little can of air here for spraying everything out when I get done. So let's open this up and see what we got. Oh, I also have some little brushes I use to brush on the grease. So let's start by taking the front apart. It's kind of got some dirt and grit in there. Let's inspect it. The pins seem to be in good shape. This plastic piece is in good shape. It is a little bit dirty. I can see that it's got grit in there. Hold the handle and turn this to the left and spin this spinner top off. Let's inspect it. So this looks good. It's got, it's a little bit stiff. It needs to be cleaned up and lubricated. These little parts here, or these little cams, they seem to be in good shape. They don't have any flat spots worn on them, which is good. The shaft here looks like in good shape. And the spool looks like it's in good shape too. Alright, to take the spool off, you just need to take this one retaining clip here out. Pretty simple. I'll take this off here. Okay, it doesn't look like we got a plastic washer. Let's there. Take this off. Maybe it's stuck down underneath here. Okay, so there's my other washer. There's my fiber washer there. This spool looks like it's in good shape. Okay, there's my other fiber washer. Looks like when Terry serviced this, he might have put these back in the wrong order. Or I need to look at the schematics and see what it has to say. But usually there's a big ring that goes in there that's a wear ring. That might be missing, but maybe it's not. I'll just have to look at the schematics. I should be able to find some schematics for this. Okay, that looks like it's in good shape here. It's just dirty. So we'll take out that little pin there. I'll leave it in there for now. Now here, I don't see a bearing. I see a bushing underneath there, but I don't know what size it is. So I don't know if we can actually super tune that. We'll have to see what size of bushing that is, see if there's something compatible, and if we can replace that with a bearing. Otherwise, we may just need to replace it with just clean up this bushing. Those plastic bushings are actually pretty good. We'll just have to see. All right, let's take the handle off. Okay, set that over there. Take the handle off. Looks like that has a little O-ring on there. We'll take that off and then clean that all up. Okay, take this back off here. It's got a little bit of grit and dirt in there. He uses this to shore fish for catfish. So it's always around the sand and stuff, so it does have quite a bit of sand in there. Okay, this has got a plastic bushing here. We'll take that plastic bushing out and we'll compare it to the bearings that I have. I can see it's bigger though. So the bearings I have with me, let's see what I got. These are the ones for the regular 730, the regular 33, and these ones are bigger. These look like they're the same size as the ones on a 33 Max. And that's this size right here. So yeah, these are the same size. So I won't be able to super tune this today. I can get it all cleaned up, but it's using the same one. So if I order some bearings for this particular bearing, it's an LY030-01. If I order those from a tackle service, I can get some bearings that will go on, at least on this shaft here. So, but these bushings are actually in pretty good shape. We just got to grease them up. But we'll get some bearings for this reel so we can super tune it. Okay, that before. Let's see. I'm taking this off. There's one. There's two. Take this off carefully. Okay, so all that is, it looks like it's broken right there. But maybe that won't matter. I don't think it does matter. It's got a little spring on here. All this is it just holds the bushing in place, whereas the newer ones have a clip that goes in down in there. So this is long enough that it will hold the bushing in place. So even though it's broken right there, it'll still work. So we'll be okay. I'll have to look to see if I can even order that part for the 733. Okay, so we got to take out this little bushing right there. Now often there's a little copper washer, so be careful. And they always put it on this side. So when you take these off, watch for that little copper washer. Okay, so it's not on there. Okay. And then this can always be a little bit confusing to take when you're taking these out, because you have to get them back in a certain way. So I'm just looking there. This is a little bit different. It's got two little fingers on either side there, but it's basically the same. And this little switch, this little stop lever there, it has to go kind of down underneath this one between there and the gears. But this gear looks like it's in pretty good shape. When I get it cleaned up, I'll be able to tell better, but it doesn't look like it's got any broken or stripped out teeth. That's usually not the one that strips out. It's usually the worm gear down in here. So let's take out that little clip. There we go. And then we can take this out. There we go. We can clean that up. That's just a little clicker in your thing. And then when we take this out, let's take a look at it. See, it goes in that way. It looks like a little one right there, but that's the way it goes. It just sits down in there, so we know how that goes. Okay, so let's take out this little gear here. Well, this already fell out. This looks like it's in good shape. We'll clean that all up. That's a pretty heavy duty looking gear there. I don't know if that's white metal or brass. But this is the only ball bearing that's on this reel, is this big ball bearing right there. So we'll take that off. Make sure it's all cleaned up. I don't see any little washers or spacers on here. You just got to check for it. Okay, now to look down in here to see what's going on with this other gear. Okay, I'm not gear, but little wash, a little bushing. All right, we got everything out. We're ready to start cleaning it up. So I'm going to get a little pan. I'm going to use my WD-40 to spray in there and get all that grit and dirt out, and then use some compressed air to clean it all up. And then we'll start to reassemble it. Okay. If you don't have one of these brushes like this, you can get these brushes at the hardware store. They're really great because they're kind of small and they get in there, clean things up. Or if you don't have one of those, get yourself an old toothbrush to get in there. Place this right here, and get it all cleaned up. Right out. This right here, I just need to take and wipe this out good. Again, this is something that can even wash out with soapy water, but okay, let's clean this up. Get this all cleaned, scrubbed out. Be careful around those little springs. You don't want to bend them when you're cleaning this out. Just be gentle around them. I think I'm just going to clean this one out with soapy water inside the house. But generally you can take and wipe this one out. Get this nice and clean. Now I'm just going to leave his line on there, but we just need to take and clean off this spool. Clean it. If I was going to service my own reel, I might take the time to take that line off of there and really do a thorough job of cleaning off the whole spool. Just put a little bit of WD on there. Clean off both sides here. Dirt and grit gets up in there. You want to make sure you clean that off good. And this looks like it's in good shape. It doesn't have any grooves worn in that rim there from the line. I'm going to blow this out with a little bit of air. Run out of air. Take this off. We want to make sure it gets back on the same way. So it just kind of cups that right there like that. I don't see any little washers on there I need to worry about. So what's interesting about the grease on these things is you'll see brand new grease. It will be around the shaft around there and never got used. So when you grease these up, you only have to really grease just the teeth. And that's why I like that Lucas red. It's really sticky grease and it stays right on those gears. Now if you use your reel a lot, service it every year, you know. And a lot of guys are pretty intimidated about taking these reels apart. That's why I'm doing these videos. You know, generally speaking, they're not really expensive reels. So you're not going to take them in to have somebody else service them for you. So learn how to service them yourself. Good old WD. The red washer doesn't have a little lock in it. This will go in the bottom. Okay, I just finished cleaning up this parts and washed them out with nice hot water, and it's good and clean. So I've got it all grease free in here, and we're ready to put it back together. We're going to put it back together in the reverse order that we took it apart. So we're going to start back here with the back. Now, just to let you know, I was able to order some ball bearings for this, and they're going to be coming in the mail in the next week or so. When I get them in, I'll finish the video with a super tune. But for now, I just want to show you how to take one of these 733s and service it, and then we'll show you how to super tune it. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and put this little bushing in. I think I've been able to get this bushing right here in a ball bearing because they made this particular 73 in a platinum, and the platinum actually used a little ball bearing right here. So we just need to take and insert that in there, and we're going to apply a little bit of grease. We're going to use some tri-flow grease in here. We don't need to use the super sticky stuff. So we're just going to take and put some down in there and some on here. Okay, I'll set that aside. And we need to take and put this ball bearing down in there. We're going to take and put a little bit of oil on this. On both sides, let it soak in. This is shielded bearing. And it really doesn't need any grease on it. So we'll put that down in there. Just insert it in there. Okay, that's good and solid. The next thing is this shaft right here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to grease that up, and we're going to put this Lucas red grease on there. Any kind of good real grease is okay. I just like this Lucas grease because it's really sticky and it stays on there. So you don't need to apply a great big gob on there. You just need to apply enough on there that it covers it thoroughly. Put a little grease on that spring and a little bit right there. Insert this back down in here. Okay. Make sure that's in there good. Excellent. Okay, the next piece to go in is this piece right here. Now we need to make sure we put this little anti-reverse thing on there, and we're going to add a little bit of grease to it. We're going to use this lighter weight grease here. And make sure we grease this bushing area there. Okay, I'm going to put some heavy duty grease on here. Okay, I'm going to put this piece on here. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to put my little anti-reverse mechanism back together. So I'm going to put a little bit of grease, sticky grease, down in this hole here. And then I got this little thing here. Remember how that goes in? It looks just like that. So this is down in here. My pliers. It sits right down in there, like so. See that? Then we can take and put this piece in. I mean, this little piece is a little bit tricky to get in. You just have to get it in there and kind of work it. So it goes, you push up in there, and it's got this little plastic spring in there. You just get it in there, you push it in. You push it in all the way. So it's in there like so. That's all it does, it just moves like that. Then you take this little retaining clip and put it in there. It just slips down in there like so. And you push it in. So it seats in there just like that. Okay? That's locked in place and then disengaged. So this crankshaft, this right here has to go down there by the little anti-reverse part. So you just slip that in there like so. And it's sitting down in there. Okay, now we're ready to put the bushings in. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the bushings. Grease that up good. And grease the inside of that one good. Alright. Put this side on there first. Push that bushing in there all the way and seat in there all the way. Okay, and we'll put this one on this side. And seat it all the way in there. Make sure it goes all the way up in there. There we go. Okay, now that we have the bushings in, we need to put this little keeper in here. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, I want to show you this. It's got little wedges here on this side, and it's kind of tapered this way. And what this is for is it's got a spring in on here, and it's used to take, and you have to put it in with the wedges this way, so that you, as you tighten down on these screws here, this little wedge will push up against this bushing here, and it will push up against and tighten this gear against this gear here. Okay, if you don't do it properly, it's going to have too much play in it. So let's go ahead and put that together. So we're going to put it like this. Put a screw in here. Put a screw in this side. Put these screws down. Okay, that's all good. I'll tighten this one down. And check to see if it has any play in it. It has a little bit of play in it. So I'm going to tighten it down just a little bit more. Okay, that's good. It's not, doesn't have too much play. And that works good. This clicker is kind of worn out, but the anti-reverse is working great. Okay, so the next step is to put this piece in there. So Pate can put this in here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put the handle on and the back on. Okay, we're going to put this in. We're going to put a little bit of grease on it. And this needs to sit down there flush. Just like that. Okay, the next piece that goes on is this piece right here. Now I just want to go over this. I got the schematics here. Let me show you this here. Here's the schematics here. It has these parts. This is not really good, so it's hard to read these pieces here. But we have 4B, 4C, and 4D, and then number 6 here. This is the drag cam. 4D is called the spring washer. 4C is called the tapered drag washer. 4B is a drag washer. Okay. And then there's a 4A, which is called a keyed drag washer. So it has 4 different types of washers for this, and here's the right here is the description. Okay, so let me show you which ones those are. So this right here is number 6. This is the drag cam. Okay, and it's got these little cams on the back, and it'll sit like this in there. Okay, It'll sit just like that. We need to lube it up first though. And then this one right here, you can see it's tapered. It's thinner in the middle and thicker on the outside. I don't know if I can really show that to you, but it's thinner in the middle and thicker on the outside. And then this one right here is called the spring washer. Okay, it doesn't have, this one right here is the keyed washer because it's got that little key in it. And then this one is a spring. So the way that we're going to put this together is it's going to be this washer here, and then the spring washer goes on top of that. And it provides a spring on the outside of this. And then this one right here is going to go like this on top of it. This right here with the tapered part down is going to go like this. If it's not put together like that, it's not going to have the spring that it needs for it to give. And then there's going to be a drag washer, a felt drag washer or fabric one, and then the spool. And the spool is going to go on like so. And then there's going to be this drag washer going to go on there, and then this keyed washer, and then this piece right there. So let's put it together. And you need to add grease to each one of these as you put it together like this. So the first thing we're going to do, we're not going to use the red grease, we're just going to use this white grease here. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of grease around here. And we're going to add grease on the shaft right here because the spool is going to, when it the drag goes out, it needs to have some grease on there. Okay, and then we add this right here. Now to put it together, you want to put it all the way like that. That's all the way loose, and that will make it easier to put together. Okay, the next washer that goes on there is the spring washer. And that's this one right here. So we're going to add a little bit of grease here and put this one on. And the spring washer, if you look at it sideways, it's perfectly flat. So it doesn't matter which way it really goes. Some of these washers that Zebco has, the spring washer actually is kind of wavy. But this one isn't. It's flat. So it really doesn't matter. It goes on like this. And then the tapered spring washer is kind of cupped on one side. So it's cupped on that side. And this side right here needs to go towards the spool. So we're going to add a little bit of grease to this. And we're going to put this cupped spring washer down like this. And make sure that the little groove goes in there. And that's the way it goes. The flat side is going to go towards the spool. So then we add some grease. And then we add this washer here. And we add a little bit more grease. Each layer gets greased. If it's not going to work properly. Okay, now the spool. And we don't need to add grease to the spool. We've added grease to the main center shaft there, and so we're just going to set that down on there like so. And then we can grease this up right here and add one of these washers, and then we can grease this up here, and then we add this keyed washer, and then we're ready to add this. And this has got a little keyway in it too. So what you want to do is you want to put this together so that the little key goes right in the groove there. Just like so. Okay, so let's try our drag now. Oh, that's nice and smooth. Let's tighten it up. Oh, that feels good. So I'm going to just loosen it up. I like to see that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the spinner cap on there. But we need to oil this up a little bit. We want to add a little bit of grease right in here, right underneath there on both sides. Add a little drop of oil right here where it pivots. Okay, those are good and smooth. Those are in good shape. Now, also right here on these cams, you want to add a little bit of grease too. And I've got grease on this cam right here because those little cams right along there. So we want to make sure that that's lubed up good. And spin this on and tighten it up. Okay, I looked at this schematics. This little O-ring, it's not supposed to be on the handle. It's just dragging against the case here and causing it to be more difficult to turn. One of the things I like to do is I like to put a little bit of grease right there. Okay, that works good. Put the nose cone on. I'll test out the drag and everything else. The Hawg 733. Okay. Yeah, that's working good. Let's loosen it up. Oh yeah, let's tighten it up. Oh yeah, you could catch a big fish with that, son of a gun. Okay, well, we finished up the Hawg, the 733. When I return, I'm going to have some new parts to put into this, and we're going to super tune it by adding some bearings here. I think I got a bearing for the nose. Anyways, I'll be back when I'm back for the second part of this video. I'm going to super tune this for you and do a little bit more repair on it.